This message is primarily for all of my beautiful melanated black women. Anybody can listen to this message, but like I said, it's from the point of view from a melanated goddess, from a black queen. So I'm speaking to those that look like me, women, and they're black, period. Okay? They're melanated. I am here to speak and talk about where we are. I'm wording this very carefully. Where we are as a nation, and when it comes to voting, I'm very spiritual, as y'all see my channel. So I'm one to say I'm out of it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Period. Because I enter and overstand energy. So I work off of energy, okay? And I build my life based on that, and I stay away from the quote-unquote matrix and all of that other type of stuff. You know, I choose to live a different type of lifestyle, right? However, I cannot also give messages from the ancestors and not discuss what our lineage has experienced. And I'm not saying that everyone has ancestors that only experienced, slavery and all of that. The black people, the melanated people, we've had many different variety of experiences on this earth. But for where we are right now, to be able to see, getting to the point, to be able to see a black woman or a POC, a person of color who is a woman, in a position to even be able to run for presidency of the whole entire United States of America. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, and we used to have, all of that in elementary school, for those that grew up in the 80s and 90s, that was, running for class president and so forth, and vice president, and just all of those different positions. And to see that actually play out, I'm hearing Ruby Bridges. So even the possibility of someone who looks like me, and as a woman of color, a woman of color, I'm black, I know what it's like to have been on my journey. They treat us like we the bottom of the barrel, like we're not anything, when we are the most powerful women, the most powerful creatures on this planet. And that's what conversation really needs to be had, if we really go tap in and get into it. But for me to even be able to see someone, me knowing what it's like being a black woman, they don't care about us. If there is someone that is not melanated, if there are white people who are, or any, there's other races as well, or nationalities, okay? They are thinking about their nationalities over us, because who we are was put in the media, and a strong message has been put out for decades that we are the underdogs. Just melanated people in general, but especially the black woman, the melanated woman. So there's all these things about who we are as a whole, as a people, man and woman, because of the color of our skin, that we're violent, we're, negative, that, because we're hood, we're ghetto, and all of this other, we're ratchet, and maybe we've had environments that have created certain things, environments that we've had to live through and push through, because that's just what it is. But it does not mean that we are not educated, that we are not magnificent. We are melanated, baby. We naturally, we the goats. We built this place. that everyone is enjoying this country. I'm trying to be, but at the end of the day, to see a black woman, someone that looked like me, I got a root for sis. How could I not, after all that my ancestors have gone through, though, to be able to make sure that we as one women, no matter what nationality you are, have a voice. And then, because so many men don't want women to speak, they just want to take advantage of us. Not all men. I'm not saying all men and so forth. There's some really great, awesome men out there. But we're talking about this specific topic here, right? And what we're talking about as a whole, and the running this country, to see someone who looks like me to be able to be in this position, 555 on the timer, and all my hardships. Even in the video, you know, she said, thanks, Usher. Like, sis, it's Usher. But you get it. It's like, at the end of the day, for me, it's not necessarily, I'm putting myself out there, so a lot of people are going to have their opinions, but clearly I don't care, okay? Hey, look, I'm going to take it there, but at the end of the day, I have to be able to speak up and say my point of view, because my voice matters as well, okay, no matter what the other opinions are. And at the end of the day, everyone is going to they're both in the political running, so no one's perfect, so to speak, if that's what we're going to say, because that's what a lot of people say, that, well, no one's perfect, you know, so everyone has a right to their beliefs, period. And at the end of the day, to see somebody that looks like me, no matter, like, hey, at the end of the day, it's almost like still keep it within the community. We keep things in the household, so to speak. So keep things in the community. Based on, because I don't watch all of that. I hate listening to the ads. I be turning my volume down. I don't do, you know, I've heard enough, you know, but at the end of the day, I stay out of that. But I'm speaking from a different point of view. I'll say that, a spiritual point of view. Okay. And I ain't really getting into it. Like I said, I'm really keeping it light. But at the end of the day, just to progress and see a woman moving forward, to see a black woman moving forward, that's moving the needle of this country. That opens it up for another black woman to come and do the same thing and truly change the trajectory. Even if everybody is saying the first ones was foul, well, guess what? It ain't gonna be no fouler than the opponent and what their agenda is and so forth is. And everybody's going to have an agenda, so I'm not, no matter what they are, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, for me, I also know I've had, as a black woman, I've literally had to work directly, like where I've had one-on-one communication, like all the time, with the owner of a company, of an organization, multiple times actually, but I'm the last one that they're thinking about. In that moment, yes, it's like, okay, like, not saying they ain't cool and they ain't and everything else, but at the end of the day, they're going to, as a whole, have a concern for the woman that they married, which is most likely a white woman. Period. So whatever her and her friends and their demographics and so forth, that's going to be his main priority over anything else, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So me as a black woman, I'm already second from that point of view. So if we're speaking from who the actual opponent is, he definitely ain't thinking about nobody that look like me. Period. So that's why this video is specifically for women of color. You may not agree with everything, but that sis is doing. But at the end of the day, that's progressive forward movement. And at least black women can then begin to take control as well. Because we are the GOATs. We can bring it back to what it was, because back in the day, it was the goddesses that was reigning, period. If you know, you know. So mama, the woman is coming back. She just taking her time, period. But she on her way back because we have been in a patriarchy type of energy for a very long time. And it's time to bring that divine feminine energy into the universe, onto earth. And that's why we are waking up and so forth, you know. But at the end of the day, the results is going to be the results. But I just had to be able to speak my point of view. And there's a lot of things that I did not say. But I guess I had to keep it, you know, mindful, classy, demure, period, you know, cutesy. But at the end of the day, y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. I wasn't going to vote. I wasn't going to do nothing. It's like, keep me out of this. And then my ancestors had to remind me. I actually saw... I've been having because I shy away from that. I don't be talking about all of that, but I have a very strong opinion. Okay, 1101 was on the phone in regards to many different topics, and I wasn't going to vote, but just different things have been coming up and reminding me, like, hey, this is what your ancestors, they went through a lot to be able to put in that vote. And a lot of people will say, well, my vote does not matter. Even if it didn't matter, it's the energy that you are taking, because we work off of energy. It's the energy that you are pushing towards her, period. To do so, even if the vote don't matter, it's all universal. The universe said, okay, all these people is wanting it and pushing it. The universe is pushing for this. Okay, well, this is what has to happen, period. That's how we out here as light workers raising the vibration of the universe. The more we get out here, the more we shine, the more we be who we is, then the light has no choice but to shine. Because the light is going to shine no matter what. Even if you don't see it, the dark side of the moon, period. But at the end of the day, I've had to express my points of view. Our ancestors have gone through a whole lot building this country. Just imagine the feelings and how you feel as a person, as a human, but as a black woman, having this earthly experience, your relationships, your children, just everything, the resources, money, finances, just everything. Ain't no president ever changed where I've lived. A lot of things actually comes from your local, from your states, okay? But, I mean, we ain't gonna get into all of that. But at the end of the day, if you really want to see the direct change, but at the end of the day, I have to go and exercise the vote that I do have, the right that I do have, because it does matter energetically. I'll put it that way. Energetically, my vote matters. The universe is paying attention still, okay? Keeping it out of the matrix, keeping it out of the politics, so to speak, okay? I have to vote for someone that looks like me, because I, especially from a spiritual point of view, 1333, being a spiritualist, I know who I am. I know the knowledge that's inside of me, the high priestess that I am. I have to make sure that I am putting out the energy that is coming after everything that my ancestors have done, and putting out that energy to support somebody that looks like me, period. Because the women that look like me, they've gone through too much previously. Thinking about even my grandmother. And I have the knowledge that I have. As a spiritualist, I have to speak up and say something. I am a light worker. So it's meant for me to be able to have to speak on a topic such as this. And my ancestors have gone through so much for me to not exercise that energy to help progress, move our country forward in a different type of way. For those that it does matter, I would rather see our country in the hands of someone that looks like me. And that opens up the doors for it to happen again. If it can happen once, it can happen again. And then they can continue to take better reigns. But it's like, let Auntie do her job. She doing what she's supposed to do, and then who knows the next goddess that's going to be coming in to do the same thing. If that's something, that's the field that they are in, and that's something that they really believe in and being spiritually guided to do as well. Because we don't know who spirit uses, who the universe uses to put in position to make the necessary changes. So I'm just going to leave that there. I believe I've said enough, even though there's a lot I did not say. There were times that I was going to start saying something, and then it was like, nope, don't say that. So I had to switch it up. Okay, so it's just, yeah, but do what you want to do. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just sharing my point of view, period. So y'all do what y'all want to do. 15:55 on the timer. But I'm letting you know loudly and proudly what I am going to do. Because like I said, I wasn't even going to vote or anything else. But I'm definitely not going to just sit this one out like I was going to do. Because it's the energy of me having to wait in line. If I do have to wait in line, I may not have to wait in line. But it's me getting involved. But it's me showing my ancestors, hey, I'm going to physically carry that energetic torch that you guys have left off on, and put that energy into that by me physically going to support, to show my support for everything that you have had to go through to even make this possible. And now it's like somebody had to crawl, so then we could walk, so then we could run, so now we can fly. Allowing someone that looks like me, a black woman, being in charge. Like, come on. And it doesn't mean after her will directly it be someone that looks like me again. It could be. Who knows what would really happen. But at the end of the 4 years from now, and then 8 more years, a total of 8. You just never know how it's going to work out. But at the end of the day, it could be somebody else. It could be a different woman that runs. It could be a white woman that runs. Okay, we got women in power now. Let's go. I'm just here to speak my opinion from being a black woman. I'm for the people. I'm for my people first and foremost, but I'm for humans. Okay, I'm for humans. Okay, but I'm also am living a earthly experience. Okay, and there are sometimes be in the world but not of it. But there are some times where I can step in and say, hey, let me put the energy to to this particular cause, okay, for this reason, all right, and that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just sharing that with you all, okay. So again, y'all can do what y'all want to do. 1808 abundance, all right, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here. If you're interested, you can connect with me one-on-one down below in the description bar, and baby, I will see y'all in the next one. I am Nayla Latrice. Peace.